Hi students, a hearty welcome to everyone. Today we are going to learn about models unit 2 book exercise. First, we will understand what are modal verbs and how they are different from normal verbs. Then we will look into the examples of them. Finally, we will see the book exercise of models. Let's get started. What are modal verbs? Modals are also called modal verbs, modal auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliaries or special verbs which behave irregularly in English. They are different from normal verbs like work, play, visit, etc. They give additional information about the function of the main verbs that follows it. It means it gives more meaning to the main verb. It cannot stand alone, which means it requires the main verb for their existence. It is used before the base or first form of the verb. They have a great variety of communicative functions. They never change their form. You can't add s, ed or ing. They are always followed by an infinitive without to. Okay, that is the bare infinitive. They are used to indicate modality, allow speakers to express certainty, possibility, willingness, obligation, necessity, ability. Okay. Now let us look into the list of the modal verbs. List of modal verbs: can, could, will, would, may, might, must, shall, should. Let's see semi-modals or quasi-modals: need, dare, used to, ought to. Now let's see the use of modal verbs. Modal verbs used for asking permission, to show ability, obligation, prohibition, lack of necessity, advice, possibility and probability. Now let's see the detailed explanation of modal verbs. Now let's see the uses of can and could in modal verbs. The very first thing you should know is the basic use of can. This verb is used to show ability. Here are some examples. I can play the guitar. He can lift heavy weights. She can beat anyone at chess. So all of these express ability. What about could? Could is just the past tense of can. I can say I could play the guitar when I was in school. That means I had the ability in the past, but now I can't play the guitar because it has been a long time and I am out of practice. Okay, let's look into the second difference. Okay, the second difference is when we talk about possibility. To talk about what is possible, we normally use could and not can. Okay, now imagine that you and me, we are both waiting for a train at a railway station. Okay, it's time for the train to arrive, but we don't see it. So I might say the train could be late. So I'm making a guess about the current. Okay, it means at the present situation, saying what is possible. So that is possibility. Here another example. If you don't study, you could fail the exam. Okay, are you sure to fail the exam? No, you could pass. Okay, but I am saying that it is possible. If you don't study, you will fail. Notice that this sentence talks about future possibility. Now let's see the next usage of could. Okay, we can use could for polite expressions when we talk to people. There are 4 situations you need to know about. The first is making suggestions. For this purpose, we use could. Here are some examples. We could try the new Italian restaurant tonight. You could ask your sister to lend you some money. In the first sentence, I am making a suggestion about where we can have dinner. In the second, I am suggesting that if you need money, why don't you ask your sister? So using could just makes it very polite. The second situation is making request. Here both can and could are possible. Can you pass me the salt? Could you pass me the salt, please? So while talking in phone, can I speak to Rahul? Could I speak to Rahul, please? Did you notice that I said please at the end of the sentences with could? That's because could is more polite than can. So if you are in formal situation, like if you are talking to your boss or other superior and you want to be very polite, use could. If you are with friends or family, that can is fine. Okay. Our next function is making offers. Can I get you something to drink? Could I get you something to drink, sir? Can I help you with that? Could I help you with that, madam? Again, notice the extra politeness with could. Finally, the last conversational situation is when we talk to ask for permission. Here are some sentences. Can I borrow your pen? Could I borrow your pen, please? Can I take the day off tomorrow? Could I take the day off tomorrow? So, if you are very friendly with your boss at work, you would use can. But if your boss is very strict, then you would use could. Okay, now I hope you understood the difference between can and could. Now let's see the next use of modal verbs will and would. We use the verb will to talk about the future. One very common use is to make a prediction or say what we expect to happen in the future. Take this sentence. Look at this sentence. We will be in Hong Kong by 8 p.m. tomorrow. That means we are traveling to Hong Kong and I expect that if our flight is on time, we will be there by 8 o'clock tomorrow night. This next sentence also talk about the future, but it's a little different. Look at the example. I'm not hungry, so I will just have an orange juice. Imagine that you are sitting with your friend, and you say this. Here you are not talking about the distant future, you are talking about the immediate future. In other words, here will is used to express a decision that you have made. We also use will to make a promise to someone. I will send you all the details by email, so I'm promising to do something for you. Okay, so that's will. Let's say would. What about would? Will. Would is simply the past tense form of will. So imagine that we didn't reach Hong Kong by 8 p.m. Our flight was late. We only reached there at 2 in the morning. So then we might look back at the past and say, we thought we would be in Hong Kong by 8 p.m. But that didn't happen. So we often use would when we report a past conversation. Okay, that is, we say what someone said in the past. For example, I wasn't hungry, so I said that I would just have an orange juice. It is the same sentence that we saw with will, but changed to the past tense. And the last sentence becomes, she said she would send me all the details by email. Okay, now you know the basic use of will and would. Next, we will use the will and would for conditionals. That means sentences where you have a condition and a result. For example, look at the example. If it rains tomorrow, I will bring my umbrella. That's pretty easy. You see that I am talking about something I will do in the future. I will bring my umbrella, but only on one condition, if it rains. Here is another one. If Jad stops playing video games, his grades will improve. What do you understand by that? Well, it means that Jad probably spends a lot of time playing video games, so his grades are not very good. But if he stops playing video games, that he can spend more time studying, and we expect that his grades will improve. In both of these sentences we have used will, and that is because both of these sentences are real situations. Okay, these are both possible. This type of sentence is called a first conditional. But sometimes we want to talk about imaginary or unreal situation. For example, if I had wings, I would fly all over the world. Okay, if I have wings, I would fly all over the world. Obviously, that's not possible. I can't grow wings, so all I'm doing is I'm using my imagination. Notice that we have used the past tense throughout these sentences. If I had wings, I would fly. We are not talking about the past, but this past tense, including would, just shows that this is not real, it is imaginary. Okay. See the polite expressions of will and would. Would you mind lending me some money? It's a request. Would you mind if I left a little early tomorrow? It's a permission. Would it be okay if I left a little early tomorrow? This is also a permission. Would you like some more milk in your coffee? This is an offer. Would you like to come along with us? Offer. Would you like to me give you a ride home? And it shows the polite expressions of offer. See the next modal verbs may and might. May and might, it is used to express possibility. There is a chance of something being true or of something happening. Look at the example. Take an umbrella, it might rain later. Take an umbrella, it may rain later. It means there is a possibility for rain later. Look at the another example. I think she may win the singing competition. They might be late because of the bus strike. Next, we can use may to ask for permission. May sounds more polite than using can or could. May I have some water, please? May I borrow your dictionary? May I use the bathroom, please? Okay. Next, we use may to give permission. We do not use might to give permission. Do you understand? You may open the window if it becomes hard. Okay, if it is very hard, you may open the window. It's a permission. It's to give permission. You may take a brochure if you like. You may leave the room once you have finished the test. Okay, so these are all permission. We use may not to not give permission or to prohibit someone from doing something. For example, you may not park your car in front of the gate. You may not leave the room without permission. You may not take photos inside the museum. Do you understand the difference between may and might? So next modal verb is must. Must is used to express obligation or duty. This also refers to complying with rules, laws and regulations. Look at the examples. She must pass the English exam. She cannot graduate with it. You must wear a seat belt at all times. You must eat all of your vegetables or you won't get any dessert. Next, usage of must to emphasize the necessity of something. Something is needed or necessary. Okay, look at the examples. Plants must have light and water to grow. That is necessity. The road is very busy. You must look both ways before crossing it. You must study before the exams if you want to get a good grade. Next, usage of must for deduction when you are sure or certain that something is true. Okay, that is based on evidence. Look at all that snow. It must be really cold outside. Mary must be home. I heard a noise coming from her room. Next modal verb is should. Should is used to express an obligation that is not as strong as must. Should is also used instead of must to make rules, orders or instruction to sound more polite. Look at the examples. Application should be sent before the 30th. He should drive more carefully. Everyone should wear a seat belt in a car. You should pay more attention in class. Next, usage of should to express that a situation is likely in the present or in the future. Okay, that is expectation, prediction. Mary should be at home now. Give her a call. He should have the letter now. I sent it last week. Our team should win the game on Saturday. It should be sunny tomorrow.
Next usage of should to give advice, a recommendation or a suggestion. You should see the new Star Wars movie. It's great. You should go to the dentist if his tooth still hurts. The test is next week. We should study for it now. You should try that new restaurant on Main Street.
Now we are going to see semi-modals or quasi-modals. Okay, now we shall move on to semi-modals or quasi-modals. Let's see the usage of need. Need is used to express necessity, obligation. Look at the examples. You need not go there. Need I get a pass? She need not buy a watch. We can also use need as a main verb. She needs my help. They do not need to write this. Does he need to take medicine? Okay. Use of dare. Dare is used to express be brave enough to do something. How brave we are. Okay. We can use dare. Look at the example. He dare not face him. She dare not to ask. How dare you call me? So this example shows the brave. Okay. The braveness of the person. Next, we can also use dare as a main verb. He dares to do this work. They dare to fight with them. You do not dare to laugh at him. Use of used to. Used to is used in discontinued habit. There used to be a temple there. I used to play cricket when I was a boy. We can also use in past habit, okay? My father used to walk in the morning. His friends used to read books. Jan used to teach children. It means not now. It's a past habit. Next, use of ought to. Ought to is used for moral obligation or duty. To express moral obligation or duty, we ought to love our country. Next one, strong probability. Ravi ought to pass in the first division. Next, advice. You ought to get up early in the morning. Now we shall move on to the book exercise. Fill in the blanks with suitable modal verbs. First one, we are not completely sure, but Kishore may come back tomorrow. When Kaushik was a child, he used to play in the street. Could I have some more juice, please? We need not paint this room now. I would rather request you to check my exercise before giving it to the teacher. Can I use your mobile phone? In school, students must wear uniforms. It is compulsory. The voyagers did not dare to drop anchor at the unknown islands. Thou shalt love your neighbor. The manager will not excuse you if you fail to complete your assignment today. Helen jotted down the important points lest she would forget it. You can never retain me against my wishes. Being a Monday, the shops will not be crowded today. I would admit my fault if I were you. The groom must certainly be over 30 years of age. My brother will go abroad to pursue his higher studies next year. It is not the urgent, you can take your own time. There is a lot of time left, so you need not panic. Could I turn on the fan, please? I could not believe my eyes. Is Santosh the one who is standing over there? Dinesh must be the richest person in the village. He has just bought 2 luxury cars. Nirmala used to write perfectly when she was 7. That's all, students. I hope you all understood modal verbs. Thank you.